We are a peaceful people. Struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass.
Good morning to our judges, debaters present here in the chamber, parliamentary staff, and our online viewers, particularly our honorable speaker, Mr. Manzoor Nadir, who is viewing us virtually today. Unfortunately, Honorable Speaker Nadir could not be here to moderate. However, he is following the debate closely and he wishes both teams well. This morning's debate is in the semi-finals. Congratulations to the teams which are here right now and to those who will be debating this afternoon for the second debate in the semi-finals, which will commence at 2 p.m. Our esteemed judges for this morning's competition are Mrs. Indrani Chandapal. She is our chief judge. Mrs. Chandapal is the chairperson of the Women and Gender Equality Commission and was elected as the president of the Inter-American Commission of Women, serving from 2001 to 2003. She was a member of parliament for 27 years and a two-term minister of government, serving as the Minister of Human Services and Social Security. Our second judge is Mr. Nias Suban, a past student of St. Joseph's High, Bishop's High, the University of Guyana, Faculty of Natural Sciences. Mr. Suban himself has served as a member of parliament from 1997 to 2001. He has been in the media for over 30 years and served in various capacities, including television and radio host for various programs on several stations. He hosted the iconic morning show, Guyana Today, for more than 10 years and is currently the Chief Executive Officer of the National Communications Network. Our third judge, Mrs. Monet Garnett Christopher, is the Chief Administrative Officer here at the Parliament Office, started her career as a teacher of economics at Queen's College, and then joined the Parliament Office. She holds a Master of Business Administration degree and a Bachelor of Social Sciences degree in economics from the University of Guyana, and has judged many speaking debates. The teams for today. The proposing team for this morning's debate is the Small Steps Big Impact Youth Organization. This organization is comprised of exuberant and resilient youths spanning from Zeeland to Virgin Ocean. And the aim of this organization is to promote, nurture, cultivate, and foster a better generation through self-development, empowerment, and basic life skills training. Their first speaker, Ms. Malaika Russell, 24 years old from Kwakwani, Berbice River. Second speaker, Mr. Calvin Roberts, 27 years old from Zeelot, East Bank, Essequibo. Third speaker, Mr. Gavin Thomas, 27 years old from Bushlot, Essequibo Coast. The opposing team for this morning's debate is the Angois Avenue Youth Friendly Space. This group was launched in 2006 and seeks to have the involvement of young people in the designing and implementation of services and activities for each other. Their services include counseling, mentorship, life skills education, recreation, and sport, interesting, information, technology, job readiness training, among others. Their first speaker, Ms. Latoya Bethune, 18 years old from Rose Hall, Berbice. Second speaker, Ms. Kimberly Smith, 20 years old from Quarantine, Berbice. And their third speaker, Mr. Delroy Marks, 21 years old from Rose Hall, Berbice. The moot for this morning's debate: Sport is the best contributor to social cohesion. I now declare the debate open and I call on the first speaker of the proposition, Ms. Malika Russell of Small Steps, Big Impact Youth Group. Malika?
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator, esteemed judges, colleagues of the proposition, and members of the opposition, listening audience, a pleasant morning. Today, the proposition is most elated that we were given the opportunity to propose this moot that state, sport is the best contributor to social cohesion. The evidence today clearly shows that our position, while there are other factors that contribute to social cohesion, sport is the most significant. As the first speaker of the proposition, I shall examine the unifying power of sport. The second speaker of the proposition shall discuss the essential benefits of sport that add to it being deemed the most effective in achieving social cohesion. And our third speaker shall discuss how social cohesion is achieved locally, regionally, and internationally through sport. For the benefit of the opposition, I will first define the key terms. Sport, defined by the Oxford Dictionary as all forms of physical activity that contributes to physical fitness, mental well-being, and social interaction. Best defined by the Cambridge Dictionary as the highest quality or being most suitable, pleasing, or effective. Contributor, defined by the Collins English Dictionary as something that is a factor in or is partially responsible for something. Social cohesion, defined by the United Nations Development Program as the willingness of people to cooperate despite their existing differences in their demeanor, culture, and beliefs. Learned members of the opposition. Sport aid in social interaction, as outlined in the definition. This means that it brings about together people of all ethnicity, religion, culture. It is not only a contributing factor, but a significant contributing factor, especially in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious, and multicultural country as Guyana. Erudite judges, the concept of this social cohesion achieved by sport has been explicitly demonstrated every time Shivnarine Chandrapal or Shimron Hetimaya batted at the crease to represent Guyana or the West Indies. Not only did the Afro-Guyanese cheer or the Indo-Guyanese, but the entire Guyana, regardless of race, culture, or ethnicity, and by extension, the entire West Indies, when these teams represent us prudently, locally, and internationally. Further, on the international stage, sport has proven to unite people. Jesse Owen, for example, was the first African-American athlete to represent the USA at the Berlin Olympic Championship in 1936. He won 4 gold medals. His accomplishment in sport caused the entire American nation to unite and celebrate, regardless of their ethnicity, their social class, and culture. Might I highlight members of the opposition? This was a time when the mighty USA was racially divided as a nation, but sport has caused them to unite as a nation. A well-educated audience. Whenever sportsman or sportswoman or athlete represents a country, there is a national feeling of pride. Even when the Ghana Amazon Warriors takes us to the finals and throw it a game, as they would say, guess what? Year after year, this year is still our year. And we would rally around our teams, not only our cricketers, but our Olympians, Chelsea Edgell, our table tennis champion, the recent team that represented Guyana in the Caribbean Games. It is only evident that sport unites our people. Another example in sport achieved by our politicians could be seen when Guyana drafted the initial Cricket Administration Bill, when the West Indies Cricket Board rejected this act. The common interest of sport led to both opposition and the government agreeing to pass this act. So therefore, it unites them regardless of which side they sit. I thank you.
Thank you, Malaika. And now we invite Ms. Latoya Bethune, the first speaker of the opposing team, which is Angoy's Avenue Youth Friendly Space, to put forward her arguments.
The family is one of nature's masterpieces. George Santayana. While sports do contribute to social cohesion, it is not the best contributor. Prudent judges, members of the opposition, wise timekeeper, intelligent audience. I, Latoya Bethune, as the first speaker of the opposing team, rises to defend my team and place an emphasis on why sports is not the best contributor to social cohesion. Our second speaker will provide other factors that are a better contributor to social cohesion over sports. Our third speaker will end this game by providing further evidence to support our claim. Distinguished judges, the key terms are as follows. Sport. As defined by dictionary.com, sport is a physical activity requiring skills or physical prowess and is often of a competitive nature. Best. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, best means excel in all other. Contributor. Collins Dictionary defines contributor as something that is a factor in or is partly responsible for something. Social cohesion. Study.com defines social cohesion as a set of characteristics that helps a group to function as a unit. Knowledgeable audience. According to an article published by the professor of the University of Western Ontario, it highlighted that, and I quote, the link between society and family is most seen in the roles children play, end quote. It further highlighted that children not only enhances social cohesion in the family, but at community level. Intellectual judges. According to the debate entitled Nature versus Nurture, most well-known thinkers such as John Locke believe in what we call tabula rasa, which suggests that the mind begins as a blank state. Empiricists take the position that all or most behavior or characteristics result from learning. One such behavior is being socially cohesive. Intelligent judges, wise opponents. There's an old saying that goes like, what you sow is what you'll reap. So then allow me to ask this question. Since family is the first social institution a child knows or an individual knows, is it not the best contributor to social cohesion? Sagacious judges. One of the most widely used textbooks in introductory sociology begins its discussion of the family with the statement, and I quote, the family has often been regarded as a cornerstone of society. In pre-modern or modern society alike, it has been the most basic unit of social organization. Harold Lambus and Holborn, 2005-03, end quote. From this, one can enforce the important role of family in social cohesion. We can reasonably expect the cohesiveness and stability of a society to depend heavily on the unity and strength of its most basic unit, its cornerstone, the family. Erudite judges, knowledgeable opponents. The proposition may want to argue that sports bring people together, like, for example, the CPL. However, unlike family, sport is seasonal. After the bacchanal and enjoyment of these sports, how long after does this cohesion last? What if the game they went to enjoy does not go in their favor? Well, let's find out. March 11, 2022, Argentina referee is attacked by losing team after penalty, dailynews.com. This act has not only been seen in international countries or foreign countries, but right here in our very own land of Guyana, where two females were seen trampling on the Trinidad and Tobago's flag after the game between Guyana Amazon Warrior and the Trinbago Knight Riders at the National Guyana Stadium. Judge Day said it best. Inclusion is not bringing people into what already exists. It is creating a new space, a better space, the best space for everyone. And this is exactly the role of the family, thus making it the best contributor to social cohesion. I thank you.
Thank you, Latoya. And now the second speaker of the proposing team, Mr. Calvin Roberts of Small Steps, Big Impact Youth Group. Calvin.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. Today, I rise to further provide evidence on the myth that says sport is the best contributor to social cohesion. Erudite judges, according to the World Health Organization, sport is a worldwide industry whose practices has significant global impact. It achieves several impacts concurrently, and it provides cohesive platform, team play, and a dialogue. Additionally, sport is distinct from physical activity since it provides for cohesion that contributes significantly in improving mental health, which determines the quality of an individual life. Sport is recognized by the United Nations as a powerful catalyst for people with special capacity to connect, inspire, and heal. Sagacious judges, the former Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, noted, and I quote, "Sport has become a world language, a common denominator that breaks down all the walls and barriers. It is a worldwide industry whose practices has a widespread impact. Most of all, it is an important tool for growth and development." Informed opposition. Social exclusion is because of unequal opportunities and existing inequalities in society. In Guyana, sports provide help in the aspect of creating a safe environment, opportunities that enhance skills and competency. Networking, along with developing specific moral and economic support that equip participants not only with autonomy but also control. Additionally, it is evidently clear that sport reduces social and ethnic barriers and improves collective action and community involvement, according to the Center for Regional Economic and Social Research on the social impacts of sport. Furthermore, sports has proven to be an effective strategy in preventing children from falling into the cycle of antisocial behavior, violence, crime, and drug abuse, according to the United Nations Office of Drug and Crime, 2018. Sport, amongst other aspects, is a significant contributing factor that focuses on social cohesiveness and ultimately the development of sustainable future for all of us in this room and future generations. Impartial judges, may we not forget the emphasis the Ministry of Education places on sport. It is evident that sport is a part of our school curriculum today. There are numerous sport activities that are encouraged throughout the year, such as the National School Athletic Championship and the inter-school competition, such as volleyball, cricket, football, and swimming, just to list a few. Honorable judges, most learned opposition, before I go, permit me this opportunity to leave this quote with you. And I quote, "Sport has the power to change the world, the power to inspire, the power to unite people in a way little else can." Nelson Mandela. I thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. I call on the second speaker of the opposing team, Ms. Kimberly Smith of Angois Avenue Youth Friendly Space. Kimberly?
While sports contribute to social cohesion, it is not the best contributor, and it is not even the second, third, or even fourth best contributor. As someone whose academic studies, achievement, and career revolves around sociology, the study of society, I was absolutely euphoric to receive this moot, and I'm even more blissful to oppose it. As such, I, Kimberly Smith, the second speaker of my team, will be exploring the depths and dimensions of social cohesion, as well as proving why sports is not the best contributing factor. The great Emile Durkheim, one of the principal architects of social science, defines social cohesion as the wellness and welfare, equality, equity, security, and wellness, as well as upward mobility of all members of society. Illustrious judges, social cohesion is a multifaceted phenomenon that can only be achieved with the primary social institutions in our society, namely family, religion, education, and our own government. Family. According to an article titled "The Effect of Family Cohesion," published on the 1st of July 2019 by the Institute of Sociology, Taiwan, the family is the best and most fundamental contributor to social cohesion. Audience, while I acknowledge the great contributions that sports made in social cohesion, we must not dismiss the work our own family does. They teach us how to care for ourselves mentally and physically, and they also embed core values, morals, ethics, and disciplines such as respect into us, all of which are core values in contributing to social cohesion. Religion. Honorable judges, Madam Moderator, and audience, religion gives people an opportunity to share common values, create unity, and build a community. In a research conducted for the Johns Hopkins Department of Emergency Medicine on November 26, 2018, titled "Religion as a Force of Social Cohesion and Wellness," it was found that religious rituals, traditions, and customs miraculously contribute to social cohesion via promoting services and altruistic values such as kindness, compassion, and mercy for the greater good of humanity. We all know that when we're praying in the month of Ramadan, celebrating Christmas or Pagwa, our beloved society and community come together as a unit. Education. Education is an indispensable institution that contributes to cohesion by socializing the new members of society, as well as embedding into them knowledge and skills to facilitate their social participation. Members of the proposition, do you honestly believe that sport is superior to education? The distribution of finances in our 2022 budget does not share the same sentiments. Did you know that 74.4 billion was invested in the education sector of Guyana, whereas only 2.2 billion was invested in the sports sector? Priorities, priorities. Our government, erudite judges, the eradication of social issues such as poverty, unemployment, violence, and mental illnesses, from that to the creation of policies that promote equality and unity, social cohesion is something that our government does. Members of the proposition, awarding sports as the best contributor to social cohesion is like admiring the beauty of our nature without giving God credit for his creation. Ms. Russell, Mr. Roberts, and Mr. Thomas. While sport is a great contributor to social cohesion, it does not contribute to society nearly as much as the primary social institution does. Our family, our education system, our religion, and our government. Hence, it cannot be considered the best contributor. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. I call on the third speaker of the proposition, Mr. Gavin Thomas, from Small Steps, Big Impact Youth Group. Gavin?
Thank you, Ms. Charles. To further convince you thank you, Ms. Charles. I stand before you to further convince you that sports is the best contributor to social cohesion. I will examine how sports contributes to social cohesion locally, regionally, and internationally. Wilfred Lamek, the United Nations Secretary General, Special Advisor on Sports for Development and Peace, said, and I quote, "Sport is the most unifying tool for peace in the world. No other social activity brings together in such great numbers and with such passion and enjoyment. This conviction has been reinforced by the work I have done around the world as Special UN Advisor," unquote. Listening audience, I'm sure if we are to be honest with ourselves, we will agree with Mr. Lamek, since he has extensive experience in sports and politics from 2018 to present. Members of the opposition, are you not aware of how sports effectively brings about social cohesion in Guyana? The National School Athletics Championship brings athletes from all 10 administrative regions of different ethnic groups, religious groups, social, cultural, and socioeconomic backgrounds, all coming together to unite as one, bridging the gap between the old and the young. The National Track and Field facility filled with pride and passion, excitement, and belonging. Regionally, regardless of all the barriers, whether ethnic, cultural, or geographic, the Caribbean Games see a representation of all countries within the Caribbean. The Inter-Guyana Games, the Caribbean Premier League competitions, we see a team of national, cultural, religious, and ethnic differences in these teams all work together to achieve a common goal. And this is what sports does. It creates a culture of celebrating each other and working together to achieve goals. Internationally, sports directly attracts athletes, sportsmen and women from all around the globe, as well as the fans from around the world, while supporters and fans in their home countries gather together to celebrate their country's achievement through sports, whether Olympics, FIFA World Cup, or the Indian Premier League. According to Estley et al. In 2016, a study, they concluded, and I quote, "The existence of cleavages across ethnic and racial lines is often considered as the main obstacle to social cohesion," unquote. All these instances which I have shared with you prove how sports has broken these barriers. It would be remiss of me not to reiterate the evidence provided by the first speaker of the proposition on the unifying power of sports and how it effectively unites all people, especially politicians, as the example we received. The second speaker shed light on the essential benefits of sports in achieving social cohesion. The proposition again now proved that the power of sports to unite people locally, regionally, and internationally. Esteemed judges, it truly saddens me to see that the opposition here today is trying to disagree with this mood, since sports has always and continues to be the best contributor to social cohesion. I can hear the snow cone man on Regent Street saying, "Hey, you see we girl, should probably put lash on them." You see, Ms. Harvey, Latoya Harvey, does we girl, and that's how we rally around our own. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavin. And now for the third speaker of the opposing team, which is the Angois Avenue Youth Friendly Space, I call on Mr. Delroy Marks for his arguments.
Sport is meant to strengthen relationship and a sense of togetherness among the member of a community. Is sports really the best contributor? Madam Chairperson, erudite judges, members of the proposition, viewing audience virtually. I, Delroy Marks, rise in this noble house as the third speaker to dispel the fallacies and misconceptions and the fairy tale that has been bolded by the proposing team here this morning. More score than Guyana Amazon Warrior ever score at CPL. Sports, all sports they say, but lovely at what cost? By infringing on human rights, by infringing on human rights, inequalities, and even possible disenfranchisement. Well, wait no longer as I don't wait. Wait no longer this morning as I reveal each of the following in the sports fraternity. Erudite judges, how can sports be the best contributor to social cohesion when sports have been a major cause of social conflict? Did you know through sports blatant racism, sexism, and multiple inequalities continue to occur every day? According to CNN, there has been a steady rise in level discrimination around English football. According to the anti-racism group Kick It Out, they released a new review by Kick It Out said that there has been 42% of increase in discrimination during the 2020 and 2021 season at both professional and grassroots level, from 313 to 446. Erudite judges, this includes 53% in report of racial abuse and 95% increase in report of abuse based on sexual orientation in the BBC Elite British Sports Survey, and I quote, 65% of respondents have suffered sexism, but only 10% reported it. The figure has worsened over the past 5 years since the last survey was carried out in 2015. 41% has been suffering sexism, but only 70% has reported the case. Another inequality in the sports fraternity is abolishment of transgender human right. In some instances, not permitting transgender athletes to compete in sports in accordance with their gender identity is a violation to the basic human right. Erudite judges, audience, Article 1 of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights clearly states, and I quote, human beings are born free and equal in identity and right. They all are capable of reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Furthermore, members of the proposition, Article 2 of the said declaration said everyone is entitled to right and freedom set forth in the declaration without distinction of sex, race, culture, and even religion. Members of the proposition, are you saying that human rights that apply to you do not apply to transgender athlete? Judges, wise opponent, it is an undeniable fact that transgender athletes giving transgender athletes opportunity to compete in sports, racial discrimination, and sexism among the sports are all violation of basic human rights. So tell me, how can sports be the best contributor to social cohesion when it's a major cause of social conflict? Honorable judges, I thank you this morning.
Thank you, Delroy. And those were the first set of arguments for and against the moot, which is sport is the best contributor to social cohesion. I'm sure those arguments were very interesting to Honorable Speaker Mansour Nadir, as he is the president of the Everest Cricket Club. To remind our viewers of our esteemed judges today, the Chief Judge is Mrs. Indrani Chandrapal, and before I tell you about her, let me inform you that we're allowing our debaters now 5 minutes to prepare their rebuttals. Mrs. Chandrapal, our Chief Judge, is the chairperson of the Women and Gender Equality Commission and was elected as the president of the Inter-American Commission of Women, serving from 2001 to 2003. She has been a member of parliament for more than 27 years and a two-term minister of government, serving as the Minister of Human Services and Social Security. Mrs. Chandrapal has chaired several parliamentary committees. Our second judge, Mr. Niaz Suban, is a former student of St. Joseph High, Bishop's High, the University of Guyana Faculty of Natural Sciences, and he has been a member of parliament from 1997 to 2001. He is an iconic media personnel as he has served in several capacities as television and radio host for several radio stations, particularly the iconic morning show Guyana Today for more than 10 years. Currently, he's the Chief Executive Officer of the National Communications Network. Mr. Suban has over 35 years in the field of theater and filmmaking as an actor, director, producer, and writer. Our third judge, Mrs. Monette Garnett Christopher, the Chief Administrative Officer of the Parliament Office, started her career at Queen's College as an economics teacher and then joined the Parliament Office family as the Expenditure Planning and Management Analyst too. She has a Master of Business Administration degree and a Bachelor of Social Sciences degree in economics. She is no stranger to the public speaking stage as she has won several speaking contests. She has also adjudicated many of such contests, and she has been an executive member of the Cacique Toastmasters Club. The themes for today proposing is the Small Steps, Big Impact Youth Organization. Opposing is the Angois Avenue Youth Friendly Space. I'm just going to check with our timekeeper. 2 minutes remaining. To remind our viewers, this is the first debate in the semifinals. The second debate will be at 2 p.m. this afternoon between the Golden Ohm Dharmic Youth Organization and Cast Talent Management Youth Group. I invite the Public Relations Officer, Mr. Yannick December, at this time to tell us a little bit about the rules of the competition as the judges complete their first tally. Yannick?
The rules of the competition are as follows. Each team must consist of only 3 members, all from the same youth group. Failure to comply will result in the disqualification of the team. Once a team has started the competition, no member shall be replaced. The first speaker will be the first speaker of the proposition, followed by the first speaker of the opposition, and shall alternate in this order. The time allotted for each speaker are as follows. First speaker, 5 minutes. Second speaker, 4 minutes. Third speaker, 4 minutes. And for the rebuttal, 5 minutes. The rebuttal will be done by the first speaker on each team, in the order of opposing, then proposing. No new arguments or material shall be introduced into the rebuttal. 10 points will be deducted for introduction of new arguments. A bell will be rung first to indicate that the speaker should commence. The second bell will indicate that 1 minute is remaining, and there will be a final bell when the time has elapsed. 5 points will be deducted from each speaker who does not adhere to the allotted time. In the event of technical difficulties, a speaker may be allotted additional time. This is at the discretion of the judges. Speakers may refer to notes but should not read them. 5 points will be deducted from any speaker who reads a prepared speech. Points will be awarded for reasoning and logic, originality, relevance, mechanics, articulation, attitude to opponent, development of argument, and cohesion. And finally, the judges' decisions are final. Those are your rules for this year's Speakers National Youth Debating Competition.
Timekeeper has indicated that the 5 minutes is up. And so I call on the first speaker of the opposing team for the rebuttal, Ms. Latoya Bethune from Angois Avenue Youth Friendly Space. Latoya?
one universe, one earth, one Guyana, one people, one nation, one destiny. Honorable judges, prudent opponents, audience. My second speaker would have hit a six past the boundary, and my third speaker would have kicked the goal, while I have managed to gain a few rebounds. But I am not ready to stop playing. I'll flip the coin and start a rematch. According to my third speaker, social cohesion is meant to strengthen relationships and the sense of togetherness amongst members of the community. The first speaker noted that sports bring people together. However, as mentioned in my speech, that sport is seasonal. What happens when the game is over? Are we saying we should only be cohesive during these seasons? According to my third speaker, wise judges, how can sports be the best contributor to social cohesion when sports have been one of the major causes of social conflict? Did you know, authoritative judges, that through sports, blatant racial discrimination, sexism, and multiple inequality continues to happen today? Like transgender athletes being unable to participate. So if we're being socially cohesive, why is it that transgender athletes cannot participate? We're still leaving piece of the cake out or some ingredients out of this pie. We don't want a bitter pie, we want a sweet pie. So the third speaker of the proposition, he noted that sports contribute to social cohesion. He noted that sports contribute to social cohesion. Yes, we are aware that sports contribute to social cohesion. What we definitely do not agree with is that it is the best contributor to social cohesion. Before a person can go out to gather and enjoy or play sports, they first had to come from a family. Of course, through education, they have to first come from a family and then pass through the education system and learn certain values of life, then bring it into sports. Allow me to redefine the word sport, an athletic activity that requires physical prowess. So then we're saying that everyone playing, not just the person coming to watch, but everyone that plays sports has to learn this value, which comes from their family, which comes from education, and other factors before sport. The second speaker of the proposition highlighted that sports promotes ethic value. So tell me, is the family not where ethic value come from? Is it not the first social institution an individual know? What you sow is what you will reap. You can't want plant corn and reap bygone. Sports is not into the picture as yet. Education is the key to success. The term most often uttered in the world we live in. Then how can one stand and say sports is over family and sports is over education? My second speaker would have noted, erudite judges, from the eradication of social issues such as poverty, unemployment, violence, and mental illness, to the creation of policies that promotes equality and unity by the government, governments across the world, including Guyana, has played a critical role in stimulating social cohesion. Members of the proposition. Awarding sport as the best contributor to social cohesion, like my second speaker would have mentioned, is crediting the beauty of nature without acknowledging that God is the creator. So tell me, how is it that sport is over family, education, government? How is it so? Sport is not the best contributor. It is a contributor, but not the best contributor. First, social cohesion is like a ladder. You first have to come from your family, learn the moral value of society. That is what you bring out into society, what you bring out into sport. So then it is not, I repeat, not the best contributor.
Thank you, Latoya. I call on Ms. Malika Russell from Small Steps Big Impact Youth Group for her rebuttal.
Thank you. Is there anyone except the members of the opposition that still believe that sport is not the best contributing factor to social cohesion? Nelson Mandela, Ban Ki-moon, and the UN Special Advisor for the Development and Peace all agree that sport is the most unifying tool for peace in the world, since no other social activity brings together people of all ethnic groups, religious beliefs, and cultural backgrounds in great numbers, whether locally, regionally, or internationally, with much passion and enjoyment. It would be remiss of me not to clear the misconceptions, the fallacious arguments, and very vague points put forward by the members of the opposition today. So allow me to do surgery to the arguments that they have put forward. The first speaker of the opposition noted that sport helps with competition, yes, and these are healthy competitions that encourages teamwork, discipline, and causes persons of all races, religious beliefs to come together to achieve one goal. Teamwork doesn't rely on me nor you. It is about us, and collaborative efforts is what causes social cohesion. The first speaker also mentioned about the family. While family fosters social cohesion, these would all be families made up of different cultures, different religious background, and different ethnicity, barriers that will still exist among them. Sport is not seasonal, members of the opposition, because it is incorporated into our schools' curricula and co-curricular activities, whether in PE or whether at regional inter-schools championship or athletics championships, and encourages teamwork. The issue that she spoke of with the persons stepping on the flag of Trinidad and Tobago, this wasn't a direct issue relating to sport. It was a matter surrounding sport where the fans would have been annoyed, upset, or maybe it could have been merely an accident. So, do you honestly still believe that this one example could eradicate the tremendous benefits that is being offered by sport? The second speaker spoke about sport, and sport gives everyone a chance to participate, regardless of which country or region they're in. When you look at a CPL match, when you look at the IPL or the West Indies, we don't have athletes from only Guyana or only the Caribbean. We had Riyad Emirates, who was captain of the CPL team, and that causes social cohesion, that builds the bond and causes those persons to interact among each other. She mentioned about religion. Allow me to say that religion and culture are very similar to each other. They are very diverse. International religious freedom noted that in Guyana, we have 64% Christians, 25% Hindu, and 7% Muslim. And though Christianity accounts for most, there's still segregations because of the various denominations who do not share the same religious beliefs and practices. Therefore, religion and culture would unite people of the same beliefs, custom, moral codes, and set religious people apart from the entire world, which looks at them as in-groups of saints and the rest of the world as out-groups of sinners. These differences create fractured groups and individuals that often struggle to coexist peacefully, reducing social cohesion and weakening society. And further, the existence of these differences across ethnic culture is often considered the main obstacle to achieve social cohesion. Education. For education to be the best contributor to social cohesion, it has to be homogeneously distributed among our people. Some people may not acquire the same level of education or can't even afford it because education is expensive, and some people will just not prefer to go along that line. So for it to be the best contributor, it means that it needs to be afforded equally to everyone, which is not the case in Guyana. Further, the final speaker spoke on how sport infringes human rights and spoke to the example of CNN. This is just one example, members of the opposition. One example cannot justify regionally, locally, and internationally. While that may have been the case in the United States, it does not and cannot speak volume for the rest of the world. I thank you.
Thank you, Malaika. And that brings the curtains down on this morning's debate. The moot sport is the best contributor to social cohesion. Joining Honorable Speaker Nadir on our live stream are a number of viewers. And so we go to our online viewers and some of their comments. Vlissas Edwards, one of our faithful viewers, is saying, I love the moot. I knew this will be an inferno debate. I can't choose. Karina is saying, all the best to my youths from Region 3. So she's supporting Region 3. Daphne Joseph, this is so amazing, with the clap hands emoji. Kevin Thomas, Kevin James, good try, passionate presentations. Daphne's also saying, absolutely amazing young people. Kemwati is watching from Berbice. Josiah is watching from Maryland. Denzel Blair is saying, great job. I'm guessing that's for both teams. Chris Singh, great topic. All right, and that concludes our online comments. While the judges have their task of tallying and deciding who the winners are and who will be adjudicated the best debater, I invite Mr. Yannick December just to tell us a little bit about the Speaker's National Youth Debating Competition. Yannick?
Hello everyone, I'm Yannick December, Public Relations Officer here in the Parliament Office. I'm also a member of the Planning Committee for the Speaker's National Youth Debating Competition, a competition which serves as a feeder into the annual Youth Parliament. Youth Parliament was first hosted in 2015 under the speakership of the Honourable Raphael Trotman. At present, Speaker of the National Assembly, the Honourable Mansour Nadir, thought it best to widen participation to allow more youths to become knowledgeable of the institution of Parliament. 16 youth groups from across our educational districts are participating in this competition. 8 of those groups will advance to participate in this year's Youth Parliament. What's in it for you, you may ask? Trophies, plaques, cash prizes, tablets, and a laptop for the best debater in the final debate. The final debate will be held at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, the 31st of May, 2022. Like last year, we are pleased to have you tune into this competition and promise that you will experience robust debates from our participants.
Still deliberating. In the meantime, let me remind you that 16 youth groups from across 9 of our 10 administrative regions entered into this Speaker's National Youth Debating Competition. In the first round, there were 8 debates. So, of course, 8 winning teams and 8 best debaters. I will now give you the names of those teams and debaters. Cast Talent Management, West Bank Young Achievers, Grove Diamond Youths in Development, Angois Avenue Youth Friendly Space, Golden Ohm Dharmic Youth Organization, Young Professionals Youth Group, Bartica Youth Group, and Small Steps Big Impact Youth Group. They advanced to round 2, which was the quarterfinals. The best debaters for round 1, Karamchan Sugrim, Dimple Basdeo, Crystal Wills, Carlito Williams, Nkosi Jupiter, Bibi Wazida Yassin, Latoya Bechun, Malaika Russell. In the second round of the competition, the quarterfinals, the 4 teams which advanced were Cast Talent Management, Angois Avenue Youth Friendly Space, Golden Ohm Dharmic Youth Organization, Small Steps, Big Impact Youth Group. And the best debaters were Crystal Wills, once again, Tamira Reddy, Sharianne Mangru, and Gavin Thomas. 3 new best debaters in that round. Judges, are we ready? We're not ready. So, as mentioned by Honorable Speaker Nadir, next year we're taking the Speaker's National Youth Debating Competition Regional. We're going to have debates among youth groups in all 10 of our administrative regions, all 11 educational districts, and the emerging winners from those youth groups would advance to the nationals, so regional debates and then nationals. I see that our judges are ready, and so I invite Judge Garnet Christopher for some remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Charles. Good morning, everyone. I wish to compliment both teams for very exciting presentations this morning. I observe your eloquence, your poise, your articulation. You were very clear, you were very loud and effective, and there was also very good eye contact. There was greater confidence by some of the debaters, I must say that. While some of you were original and unique, I felt that some of you were fighting yourselves. And because of that, you were pausing very often. There was also good use of the English language. Your subject and verb agreement were aligned. However, I think there were some run-on sentences, too long sentences. What you need to do is use the full stop and begin new sentences. It would help your audience to clearly comprehend your presentations. Work on your breathing and pausing. Whichever team would be moving forward, kindly work on your breathing. All right, there was also your construction. It was very clear. I felt your sentences were linked to each other across paragraphs. But in moving forward, do not read. You're still reading. Please do not read. Refer to your notes and work on your deliveries. Best of luck to both teams. Ms. Charles.
Thank you, Judge Garnet Christopher. And now for Judge Suban, your remarks.
Good day, thank you, and to both teams. Again, congratulations on making it this far, and best wishes going forward. Now, I must be honest, I only saw the mood when I came in, and I came in fairly late. My apologies. And when I look at the mood, I knew this was going to be something that will take some convincing on both sides. But more importantly, when I examine the mood, there is one particular word that stands out to me. It stands out. And I didn't hear much about that particular word. And the word is best. Is it the best contributor? We know it's a contributor, but is it the best contributor? And because I grasped or I held on to that word, I kept listening for any argument that will convince me for or against that it's best or it's not the best. And I must say that I might have been a little bit disappointed not being, because I was rife with that expectation that you will convince me that it's not the best. And if I were part of this team or any of the team, I would say yes, honestly, it is a contributor. It is. We can't deny what happens at the stadium and whatever the case may be. But then I think one team went on to make the point, does it last for long? Which brings me to the point, are we mixing up celebrating with social cohesion? And that's the note I made here. There's a difference between celebrating and actually achieving social cohesion through sport. But that said, I mean, I'm being very, very meticulous here. There was evidence again of good research, right? Lots of research done and everything else. And if I were to be a little bit critical, you had some really wonderful research and some good quotes, but were they used effectively throughout? There were moments when they were, but there were moments when they were just used to support what we all know, that sports is a contributor. But it goes back to what I said at the beginning in terms of the word best. And I'm not sure anybody picked up on that particular word in terms of what is best. And I was very heartened when I heard a speaker say that it unites politicians. Again, it goes back. Is it something that is momentarily, is it fleeting, or is it something that is lasting? Now, having said all of that, this is not an easy moot, one way or the other. So I want to congratulate you for the efforts that you would have made, for the hard work you would have put in, and the research you would have done. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Suban. And now for our comments and announcement of winning teams and best debater, our Chief Judge, Judge Chanderpaul.
Thank you, Ms. Charles, and to the two teams that have participated in today's debate. I want to say congratulations to both of you. You have really done a remarkable job once again in terms of the research. But my colleague, Mr. Suban, referred to the question of the context and how your quotes are being used. That was a little bit challenging, I believe, in the sense that you can't just pick up a quote and just, repeat it. There must be a context to which you are referring. In terms of confidence, it was there, but also, I guess, since it's a semifinal, there must have been a little bit nervousness among all of you. I've seen a few of you have done exceedingly well from the last time in terms of your presentation, but I endorse the point that was made by my two colleagues that the reading still seems to be a problem. We need to improve a little bit more on that. Making reference to your point and then raising your head and speaking to the audience is something that you will aspire to overcome. I think all of us who are in public speaking would have gone through that. So I would say try a little harder. You will do even better the next time. And I endorse all the points that have been made by my colleagues. And now for the results. The best speaker from the opposition is Ms. Latoya Bethune. Latoya, congratulations. We like your spirit and your enthusiasm, so continue in that trend. From the proposition is Malaika Russell. Congratulations again, Malaika. We want to encourage you to do even better than you have done at this point in time. The proposition have 243 points, and the opposition has 262 points. So the opposition, that's the Angois Youth Group, are the winners of this competition here today. And congratulations to both teams. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Judge. Let me join in congratulating the best debaters, Ms. Latoya Bethune and Ms. Malaika Russell, and to congratulate the winners of the first debate in the semifinals, the Angois Avenue Youth Friendly Space. Thank you to our judges. Thank you, teams. Thank you, staff. Thank you, online viewers. Goodbye for now.